height.
And is it horizontal or is it vertical?
Vertical.
So here's our two parallel bases, and then we have our vertical height that does what? Intersects with the two bases that are parallel. So we have the two triangles are similar because the bases are parallel to each other, and the height of the triangles intersects the bases, forming what? Right angles. And since they're both right angles, what do we call those right angles? In similar figures, what are they called? Paris?
Corresponding angles.
Corresponding angles, awesome. So, since both angles are 90 degrees, I know that they are corresponding angles. It's okay if you're behind, don't worry, I'm going to leave this up and you'll get time to catch up. Right now we're just formulating our thoughts to get started. Braden, do you have this written down, buddy?
So this is the answer?
We are working on your answer. This is forming your short constructed response, Josh. We're putting it together. We're proving that we know there's similar triangles.
And we're gonna like alone on
Add on. And I'll tell you what you got to add on in a minute, okay? So now I'm going to move the paper. Don't panic. We'll come back to it. We're going to go back to the picture. So now we know this is a right triangle angle and this is a right angle in our two right triangles. But is one angle being corresponding the same enough to prove that they're similar triangles?
No.
No. So now I'm going to ask you, Elias said this was our hypotenuse, this was our height. This angle is part of the small triangle, right?
Yes.
Is it also part of the large triangle?
Yes.
Is this angle an angle for both triangles?
Yes.
Yes. So if the same angle is in the same spot in both triangles, what do we know has to be true about this angle for both? Charlotte?
It's similar.
Not only similar, but it's the same. So are those two corresponding angles identical?
Yes.
Yes. So now we can add to our proof. What do we also know? Charlotte?
That one of the angles are exactly the same.
Because it is the same.
Same part where the angle is. Same position.
Same position, same angle, right? So we also know, and I'm going to name it stake 3 angle because it's at stake 3. So I'm going to say we also know stake 3 angle is a corresponding angle because it is in the same position and the same measure in both triangles. Okay, now put your pencil down for 30 seconds. I know you're not done writing, but let's get to the next piece. So far we have a lot of proof, right? But have we proved it all?
No.
No. If two of the angles in a triangle are the same, what do we know has to be true about the third one? Caroline, what has to be true about the third one? So if I'm looking at my picture again, and I know that this angle and this angle are the same, what has to be true about these two angles? Bless you. And how do you know they're the same? They're in the same position, that's part of it, that's true. Rachel?
Corresponding sides?
They're next to corresponding sides, that's true too. Paris?
Corresponding angles.
They're corresponding angles, that's true. Shem?
Because if you add up all the angle numbers, it has to equal 100%.
Yeah, so we know that in order for a triangle to be a triangle, the three angles have to total 180 degrees. So if two of them are the same, then what has to be true about the third to get to 180? Cassie? They have to be the same too to get to 180. Josh.
I have a question about something. If the smaller triangle has to equal, does the smaller triangle have to equal 180, or does the entire triangle have to equal 180?
Who can answer that? Terriana. He wants to know, does the smaller triangle's degrees have to be 180, or does the larger triangle's degrees have to be 180? Why? Because why?
But wouldn't that mean...
Hold on, listen to her response.
A triangle with 12 degrees is 180 degrees, so it has to be.
So does the size change the degrees of the angles?
No.
Does it, right? If it's a triangle, what has to be true about all the degrees of the triangle's angles? They have to equal 180, whether it's this big one or it's this
We don't want.
small one.
But